It's a real pleasure to welcome our next guest, longtime friend of mine, and now he's a big film director guy, so I can hardly speak to him anymore. Tom Carroll is here. Tom is a local public relations businessman and director of the Big Bad Budget movie. Good to see you, Tom.
Great to be here.
Oh, thank you for being here. And so the Big Bad Budget, of course, it's that question, that elephant in the room that nobody wants to deal with, but the U.S. budget, we're in a huge deficit, and nothing's being done about it.
The federal budget is now $17.3 trillion. When we made the movie, it was only $16.8 trillion, so it wasn't so big then.
Yeah,
now it's 17.3, and it's rising. If you go on the debt clock, I think it's U.S. debt clock, you'll watch it just roll up and up and up. So we decided that 8 regular people might be able to solve this problem, representing the country. So we went out and found 4 Democrats, 4 very good Democrats, and 4 Republicans, and we got them together in a reality show situation for 2 days, and we said, balance the budget. And Aaron here, without Aaron, it wouldn't have happened because Aaron was the researcher, one of the researchers, and the lead researcher, and she basically, I said, go figure out the federal budget. And then she came back 3 weeks later and had the whole thing laid out so that they had all the numbers in front of them and they could make the decisions.
It was a really fun experiment,
I bet it was.
Very educational.
Now, there's no spoiler alert here. They did it.
Yeah, there is no spoiler. They did do it. Without them doing it, I don't think we'd have much of a film. To watch them fail, you can go to Congress and watch them fail.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, they fought like cats and dogs. They fought just like Congress did. But they had a commitment, and the commitment was we were going to do this. We believe it's in the best interest of the country. So they actually fought, they argued, and then they negotiated, and it was reality show style. It's very exciting. And they did it. They did it with about 7 minutes to spare.
Now, why do you think that 8 people can fix the budget, but all of Congress can't do anything?
Well, Congress is stuck now because they have so much pressure on them from lobbyists and interest groups and their own ideology. They don't yet believe that this is in the best interest of the country to compromise and come to. So what we said was to these people is, can you bring yourself to do it without all the pressure? And they did. So now we say to Congress, look, it's profiles and courage time. It's time for you to put the country's interests in front of your interests and actually commit to doing this. And if you can do it, you can do it in a weekend, just like we did.
Let's take a look at a clip from the Big Bad Budget, directed by Tom Carroll.
We have gathered 8 people, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. And these people, over the next 2 days, will try working together to balance the budget. Nothing here today has been predetermined.
At the current rate we're going to be insolvent.
Every single American owes $58,000 right now.
But this country is exhausted.
Everything that you see will happen live.
Poverty isn't supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be painful.
I think you're wrong.
I heard there's people out to get me.
Taking Seth down.
Seth is going down. You got about 3 hours to go. You think you can do it?
I think it is going to come down to the wire, but I'm pretty sure we can do it.
If they succeed, people around the country just may be asking, if 8 people in Albuquerque can do it, why can't Congress? This is really up to you now. Good luck.
Wow.
So you've had the film debut here in Albuquerque.
We had a premiere at UNM a few weeks ago.
And now you're trying to go out into the marketplace and sell it.
Yeah, it's a little tricky because we believe that this is a pilot for a series of shows. We can talk about healthcare, we can talk about crime, we can talk about education, we can talk about all these things. And we can get defense, everything. We can get 8 regular people together to talk about any of these issues and work them out, and then essentially hand Congress a blueprint for how to do it. Say, look, we did it, here's how we did it, why don't you try to do it? In the budget, what they basically did was they cut 1/3 from entitlements, 1/3 from defense, and then they raised taxes 1/3. Okay. Now might not be your recipe. It might not be mine, but that was what they came to. And we came to the conclusion that every issue, we could come to some kind of conclusion. Everybody's hungry for a resolution out there, and Congress isn't doing it. And we're watching the debt roll up, and we're hoping there's not going to be a disaster. And that's why we did this movie, to show people that it can be done.
And it's just, there's so much. I mean, when we were investigating it, there's so much waste too. I mean, it's amazing that you can't just cut some of that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so here's your family budget. You take in $2.5 trillion. That would be nice, right?
Right.
Okay, you take in $2.5 trillion, but you spend $3.5 trillion. Your checkbook is out of line every single week. So the question is, okay, now, how can we get people in this country to understand that this is a very, very serious issue? If we spent nothing every year, it would take 7 years just to catch up and take care of the national, which of course we can't do. We have a budget. We have to take care of things.
Everybody walks out of this with drawing their own conclusions. My takeaway from this is it makes a great case for term limits. And you can make that case, but you can make several other cases about this. What you don't have here is the power, the pressure from each party on the specific members of Congress. You just have folks without the pressure and the outside influences.
We're hoping to shame them, frankly.
Well, yeah, more than
We're hoping to say
somebody needs to.
We're hoping to say to Congress, look, if 8 people in Albuquerque can do it, why can't you do it? And the answer is they don't have the will to do it, because if they had the will...
It's that way because they want it to be that way.
They sort of want it to be that way.
Well, that's the thing. If this was a business, if government was a business, they'd all be fired. I mean, any business is run with, okay, you can only spend this much money, and
I've made this point. We've had people who have been in Congress for 10, 20, 25 years, and they have presided over what could be the bankruptcy of the country.
They have.
And to the regular public, they're just going about their business. They're going to their jobs. They're not worried. And they're saying, oh, isn't it great? We can spend all this money. Well, what if we can't? What if one day the markets go crazy and we are no longer able to borrow, or if interest rates rise? Right now, we spend almost $500 billion just on interest. What if that goes to $1.5 billion? That would be like 2/3 of our budget. And if interest rates go up, that can happen. I mean, we're really on the edge, but we're not there yet. No. You made that point, Larry. It's like we have time if we can just shame them into doing it. When I say shame, I'm kind of joking around. What I really mean is we're going to give them, we're going to say to them, look, this can be done.
Right.
And then the public has to come in and say, yeah, we want to do this.
I think they're about there.
And that's the issue, is they're always like, well, we'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
So it keeps being pushed off until one day it's going to just explode.
Yeah, you know, some people argue, and they argue with good intentions, that it's okay. It is okay to run up a $17 trillion deficit. But what if they're wrong? We don't think they're right, but
I don't want to make that bad.
We don't want to make that bad.
No.
I mean, it's like debt is not a good thing.
For nobody.
Even though it might create some spending, which helps the economy a little bit, ultimately, all that interest and everything, it's just like, so let's get our checkbook in order.
Yes.
Good luck with your round of interviews and having lunch in Beverly Hills with all the producers.
I'll go to the Polo Lounge. I'm sure they all know you there.
Oh, yeah. Just walk in and mention my name, will you?
Very good.
And I want to hear more about what's going on with this.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you,
for
Tom.
having me on, and thank you for your help on the movie.
Great to have you here. Director of Big Bad Budget, the film, Tom Carroll, with us here on The Morning Brew. We'll be right back.